So on the topic of Twitter again, staying on this whole bad news thing, the other day I read a blog. I'm not going to say any names or be too specific. I've tweeted about it and I've blogged about it, so if you're really interested in knowing the full details, don't hesitate to check out the blog, wolf21.com/blog. But I found that a lot of people are talking about I guess social media experts or gurus on Twitter, and they're unfollowing all of their followers. Now the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, one, that's not very social of you, and two, will Twitter really allow this, and will their followers really allow this? Because I've made a video about Twitter not accepting certain behavior on Twitter, and that's one of them. If your Twitter follower ratio is too out there, it's not matching up, then they're going to suspend your account. But at the same time I thought, you know, like why would it even have to come to that? I mean, people should have the common sense to know that, okay, this is social media. These are social media sites. Facebook, MySpace. I mean, would you have a Facebook account of just people that are your friends and not be befriending anybody else? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make much sense. If it was just like, oh, I'm gonna stand here and tell you everything that I know, then fine, but that's not the point of these social sites. These sites are to talk to people, have conversations, listen to what people are saying, like, you know, keeping in touch with people. And the fact that a lot of social media gurus are now all of a sudden, oh, to them, you know, following 20,000 people is a bit too much, so now they're just going to unfollow everybody. I think it's a bit ridiculous and very unprofessional of them, in my opinion, because you're sending out a whole bunch of mixed messages to your followers. One, maybe they're not worthy enough being your friend or you listening to what they have to say. And I just think it's pretty selfish if all of a sudden you're following 0 people, but you still have like 30,000 people following you. And I mean, if you really think about it, in real life, if you were having a conversation with someone, would you want them to just be talking all the time? You'd want to have some say as well. And so that's my personal opinion. Like, they'd have to be saying like extremely interesting stuff for me to stay in that conversation. It wouldn't really be a conversation, it'd be a one-way conversation. But I definitely think they're not thinking this through, and it seems to be a trend that's catching on. And I think it's going to get them into trouble eventually, if not by Twitter, by their users, their followers. They're going to get fed up of just listening to them yabber all day long. And sure, maybe they have great stuff to say, but you know, eventually people are just going to be tired of it. They're just going to use them for their information, and they're just going to dump them at the end of the day, and that will be the relationship over with. So, you know what? People are jeopardizing social media sites. They might just come crashing down. You know, Twitter is just going to, like, with Twitter hawks, just going to get spammed and go crazy, and now with people unfollowing people just for the sake of it. You know, I don't think people are really thinking this stuff through, and it can really hinder people's experience on Twitter. And you know what, if new and upcoming social media people are on Twitter, or companies, they might forget the whole purpose of social media. They might see, well, this social media guru isn't following anybody, so why should we follow any of our customers back, or valued customers? And what do you think that customer is going to think? You know, so I think they need to rethink this, or I don't know, if anybody has an opinion that can maybe change my mind, be sure to comment on this video. But other than that, that's pretty much it for social media week, so I'll see you next week.